Let's be honest. The reason you're still drawn to content like this isn't because you lack confidence, options, or worth. It's because no one ever explained the quiet rules that actually shape loyalty inside a woman's heart. I'm going to talk to you the way someone should have a long time ago. When a woman does one specific thing for you, consistently, without being asked, without pressure, we taught reward it's one of the strongest indicators of long-term loyalty you'll ever see. Most men are taught to measure loyalty through attraction, sex, attention, fast replies, or emotional intensity. But those are temporary states. They shift with mood, stress, novelty, and circumstance. Loyalty is not loud. It's subtle. It's behavioral, and it's almost invisible unless you know exactly what to look for. A woman can desire you deeply and still walk away when it aligns with her survival but when she does this one thing, it means her nervous system has placed you in a category that very few men ever reach. Here's the truth most men never hear. Female loyalty is rooted in emotional safety. Not excitement. Not dominance alone. Not generosity alone. Safety. And safety doesn't mean boring or predictable. It means she feels psychologically protected with you. Her guard lowers without effort. She stops performing and starts revealing who she actually is. The behavior that signals real loyalty is this. She begins to self-regulate her own behavior to preserve the connection with you, even when you renod or hound. Read that again. She isn't adjusting herself because you demanded it. She isn't doing it to avoid punishment. She isn't doing it to earn approval. She does it because being misaligned with you feels internally uncomfortable. When a woman naturally considers you in her decisions, boundaries, and reactions without resentment, without negotiation, loyalty is forming at a deep level. It shows up quietly. She pauses before reacting when emotions rise. She clears misunderstandings instead of escalating them. She protects the bond when outside influences try to destabilize it. She doesn't entertain a tension that could threaten what she feels with you, even when no one would ever know. And she doesn't announce any of this. Loyalty doesn't need validation. Most men destroy this phase because they misread it as control. They test it. They push boundaries. They get careless with trust. Or, they relax their standards, believing loyalty is secured forever. That's when the shift begins. Loyalty grows where respect remains stable. Understand this deeply. A woman stays loyal when she feels chosen without being owned, desired without being consumed, and respected without being feared. When she starts protecting the emotional space between you instinctively, she's telling you without words that you matter to her future self. That is rare. That is powerful. But this is where most men get it wrong. When a woman begins emotionally self-regulating for you, she becomes more vulnerable than she's ever been. Vulnerability isn't softness. Vulnerability is risk. She's risking disappointment, loss, being taken for granted. At this stage, loyalty isn't fixed. It's forming, like wet cement. It holds shape, but it can still be damaged if you step on it carelessly. What she's watching now isn't what you say, it's how you handle power. Power changes men. When a man senses deep investment, he often shifts unconsciously. He listens less, explains more, reacts instead of grounding. He moves from intention to entitlement. And the moment entitlement appears, loyalty begins to erode quietly. Women are highly sensitive to imbalance. When she feels she's offering emotional consideration while you coast on it, her nervous system doesn't register anger, it registers danger. And danger leads to withdrawal, not confrontation. Here's a hard truth. Women rarely leave when they're angry. They leave when they feel unseen. So what does a loyal woman need in this phase? Not reassurance. Not gifts. Not grand gestures. She needs consistency of character. She needs to know the man she invested in emotionally still shows up when comfort is available. This is why loyalty deepens when you stay disciplined with yourself. You keep your word even when it's inconvenient. You hold boundaries even when she'd accept less. You stay calm in conflict instead of trying to win. These behaviors tell her subconscious mind that aligning with you was safe. Notice something important. Loyalty doesn't come from fear of losing you. It comes from trust that staying with you won't cost her self-respect. When she trusts you won't exploit her openness, she stops scanning for exits. She stops holding emotional backups. She stops testing. Her mind settles, and when her mind settles, loyalty deepens. This is why emotionally immature men never experience real loyalty. They confuse intensity with attachment. They mistake drama for passion. But drama is instability, and instability kills loyalty faster than boredom ever will. If she speaks honestly to you, even when it risks friction, that's another sign. Silence isn't peace. Silence is disengagement. A woman who corrects, clarifies, and communicates is investing. She wants alignment, not control. Understand this clearly. Loyalty isn't extracted, it's offered when emotional safety exists. The moment she senses her loyalty makes her smaller instead of stronger, she will slowly reclaim herself. If you want loyalty to last, treat it like something living, responsive, sensitive, growing when respected and withering when neglected. Men who understand this don't chase loyalty, they inspire it. The most dangerous moment in a connection isn't instability, it's comfort. That's where loyalty is either reinforced or quietly dismantled. When a woman becomes emotionally anchored to you, she begins asking a silent question. Who do I become if I stay here long term? Your answer isn't your potential, it's your patterns. This is where self-improvement stops being optional. A woman can admire ambition, tolerate flaws, and forgive mistakes, but she cannot stay loyal to a future that erodes her sense of self. If being with you makes her calmer, clearer, and more grounded, if it creates confusion, self-doubt, or exhaustion, loyalty fractures internally long before she leaves. Women don't bond to words. They bond to emotional outcomes. How she feels after interactions with you matters more than what happened during them. Does she feel understood or dismissed, regulated or drained, supported or subtly judged? When she starts organizing her life with you in mind, planning ahead, integrating you into routines, that's alignment. And alignment only happens when consistency with you improves her life. Here's the difference between temporary devotion and lasting loyalty. She watches how you treat yourself. If you neglect your health, purpose, or discipline, she feels the burden of emotional stability alone. That creates anxiety. Anxiety kills loyalty. But when you manage stress without collapsing or lashing out, her nervous system relaxes. She feels partnered with a man, not responsible for a project. That's why emotional mastery, not emotional distance, is so attractive. Another key signal is how you respond to her discomfort. Do you listen to understand or to defend? A woman who feels heard doesn't withdraw. A woman who feels dismissed eventually stops explaining. And when explanation ends, loyalty is already dying. Loyalty is an obedience. A loyal woman will challenge you, but with the goal of resolution, not destruction. And here's the truth that frees you. Loyalty isn't secured by perfection. It's secured by predictability and integrity. She knows where you stand. She knows what you value. She knows how you act under pressure. That predictability creates trust. And trust is the soil loyalty grows from. Men who understand this stop trying to impress. They become emotionally reliable. They stop performing masculinity and start embodying it. Eventually, loyalty stops feeling like a question and becomes a daily choice she doesn't need to announce. There's a moment most men miss while it's happening, when she stops testing your interest and starts testing your stability. The tests change. They're no longer about jealousy or attention. They're about patience, presence, and pressure. She may show up she may reveal uncertainty. She may expose fears she hides from everyone else. This isn't weakness. It's her nervous system asking one question. Can I be fully human here without losing respect? Your response decides everything. Minimize her feelings, rush to fix, or become defensive, and she learns honesty costs safety. But if you stay grounded, listen without panic, and respond with clarity instead of control, her body learns closeness with you isn't dangerous. She also watches how you handle temptation, not out of paranoia, but because loyalty requires psychological exclusivity. A man who seeks validation, flirts for ego, or needs constant approval feels unstable. A man loyal to himself inspires loyalty in others. When she becomes calmer around you, many men think attraction is fading. Often, it's attachment stabilizing. Drama is uncertainty, calm is trust. But men addicted to emotional spikes reintroduce chaos and destabilize loyalty. Respecting her autonomy matters. A loyal woman doesn't feel trapped. she feels chosen. Control kills loyalty faster than betrayal. She also notices whether you're loyal to values, not just to her. When she sees integrity even when no one's watching, loyalty becomes identity. She sees herself as someone who stands with you. That loyalty is durable, but not indestructible. Disrespect, complacency, and emotional laziness still erode it. That's why men who keep loyalty long-term never stop leading themselves. Loyalty isn't maintained by fear of loss. It's maintained by daily proof that alignment with you still makes sense. Loyalty doesn't disappear suddenly. It erodes quietly. In moments men think don't matter. A woman who's already invested won't announce withdrawal. She observes. She prepares emotionally long before she prepares physically. The trigger is rarely betrayal. It's emotional neglect. When she feels emotionally partnered but functionally alone, loyalty detaches and reattaches to her own survival. Presence matters more than intensity. When you're there, be there. Listen fully. Respond without dismissal. Engage without treating emotions as interruptions. Emotional leadership matters, not dominance, regulation. She stays loyal to men who make emotional situations feel manageable. Gratitude matters, not praise, but acknowledgement. When her care is seen, loyalty feels like a gift. When it's assumed, it feels like debt. Growth matters. If she grows and you stagnate, she feels she's shrinking to stay aligned. Loyalty cannot survive self-betrayal. Respect her boundaries. They protect the relationship. Ignore them, and you teach her loyalty requires sacrifice. Here's the final truth. Loyalty lasts when she feels safe expressing her full-range joy, frustration, desire, fear, without punishment. Men who lose loyal women always say the same thing. I didn't see it coming. But the signs were always there. Less warmth, less effort, less sharing. Not because she stopped caring, because she stopped feeling met. If you stay awake in this phase, intentional even when comfort invites sleep, loyalty doesn't fade. It solidifies. A woman doesn't stay loyal to perfection. She stays loyal to presence, growth, and emotional safety that remains when the honeymoon ends. Real loyalty is rare, and once it's lost, it almost never returns in the same form. Not because women are unforgiving, but because the version of her that trusted that deeply no longer exists. Loyalty isn't a switch. It's a state she grows into with you. And the final stage? Loyalty becomes automatic. Integrated. You're no longer a question, you're a constant. That only happens when her emotional system has enough evidence that you're safe, steady, and self-led. True loyalty isn't tolerance, it's alignment. And alignment requires maintenance. A woman stays loyal when being with you feels like an emotional home, not an emotional job. So ask yourself honestly, when she watches how you show up in silence, stress, and comfort, does she feel safer or smaller? That answer determines everything. If this made you see yourself clearly, you already know what to do next.